Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Ali, and today I'm going to be talking about 10 products that you've probably never heard of. And I am realizing that I think one of them is limited edition, so I might include that as a bonus product and pick another product, because honestly, as I was going through my collection, I could have picked so many products. I realized that the way that I buy makeup has changed over the years. And so, yeah, I just realized I had so many products that I'd never heard anyone talk about, but I'd like bought organically or because they looked good or for whatever reason. I'll explain why I bought them all like when I get to them. But yeah, if that sounds like something you're into, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below if you're interested, and make sure you subscribe if you like what you see. I try to upload videos twice a week, but that doesn't always happen. I have a full-time job as a librarian, so this gives me a chance to be not as serious and have fun and talk about things that I think you should or shouldn't spend your money on, do some pretty unexciting makeup looks, and just kind of chat. So yeah, if that sounds like something that you're into, subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into this video. Okay, I have my 10 products and then my bonus product. So I'm just gonna go in the order of the way I put things on my face. And do keep in mind that I watch a lot of YouTubers, but my list is not exhaustive. So if you have seen these products before, don't come to me and say like, what are you talking about? Everyone uses these products, because the people I watch don't. And I tried to stick to, like, there may be a couple in here that I saw one or two YouTubers talk about, and I'll explain who I saw talking about them. But for the most part, they're products that I really haven't seen talked about all that much. Underrated, I guess, is the correct word, but like, whatever. So I'm gonna go in the order that I do my makeup, and I'm gonna start with an eye primer. My favorite one that I've tried is the Ulta Beauty Matte Eye Primer, and I don't hear anyone talk about this, and it baffles me because I think it's so good. Definitely rivals the Urban Decay eyeshadow primers, which no one really talks about either. No one really talks about eyeshadow primer in general. The only person I even really see talk about it is like Robert Welsh, or if I do see people use it, they use like the MAC like Painterly Paint Pot or something like that, but I never see anyone talk about this. It has a really light silicone-y formula, but it dries down. It's not too drying. I have really dry eyelids, and I find that this does not dry my eyelids out at all. It's just tinted enough that it covers up any veining that I have under my eyes, but it's not so tinted that like I can honestly, like if I don't really plan on wearing a lot of eyeshadow or even any eyeshadow at all, but I do want to throw on a foundation, I will just put this down so that I give myself like a blank canvas on my eyelids, because I have such pigmented eyelids that I don't want to like go without makeup on them. So I use it for that purpose too. I think this is a great, like, super underrated product. It's super inexpensive too, and I go through this pretty fast, so I need something that's not going to be super inexpensive, and you get 10 mils in here. So yeah, and I get the shade Nude, but I've tried these in other shades. Like I've tried the shimmery ones, and they're really pretty, but obviously like if I want a shadow primer, I'm gonna want something like this. I don't know if they have a good shade range. I will check on that and like put a little note here, because that would be something I'd want to know. But yeah, I really like this. I think this is a really good product if you're just dabbling into eyeshadow primers and want to try one before buying an expensive one, because I think you'll find you don't even need an expensive one with this. So that is my first product. The next product is an eye product. This is the Persona eyeliner in Plum. I wonder if maybe I didn't hear people talk about this a lot because it came with a set with an eyeshadow palette that I did really like, but I did end up decluttering it just because I didn't need it in my collection. I ended up selling it on Poshmark, but this is their eyeliner in the shade Plum, and these eyeliners are just, they're so good. As you can see, I've used a lot of it, and I use eyeliner pretty regularly. It's the perfect like burgundy color. I'll do swatches and stuff to show you or whatever, but it lasts a really long time. It's a sharpenable one, which I don't know, like it's neither here nor there for me. I know some people prefer a twist up. It's not a twist up, it is a sharpenable eyeliner. but it lasts a really long time in the waterline. I don't get smudging, I don't get like that seeping into the inner corners, anything like that. But it's also spreadable enough that if you put it on your upper lash line or lower lash line, you can smudge it out with a brush, which is exactly what I look for in an eyeliner. And plus it's the perfect shade for like blue eyes. And these kits were made for certain eye colors. So this one was plum eyeliner with a pink eyeshadow, which is like perfect for blue eyes. And I think the other kit, sorry, was made for like brown eyes or something. But Persona does keep that stuff in mind. So I really like this. So that is another product that I really have never heard anyone talk about. So I don't have any primers, but I do have 2 tinted moisturizers. Now I want to address first and foremost that these do not have the best shade ranges, and I would love to find products with better shade ranges. But all of like my full coverage-ish foundations that I have, I've heard tons of people talk about. So, and I guess I really didn't address like why I bought these things. I did hear Emily Noel talk about this like years ago, and then the Persona one, it was around the time that Persona had just come out. So when that launch happened, like I just wanted it. So the first tinted moisturizer is the Jane Iredale Dream Tint. I got some PR from Jane Iredale like years ago, and I tried a skincare product of hers, and it was around the time that I was like super into like clean beauty. So I added this to my favorites list in Ulta, kind of forgot about it, and then my husband was buying me something on my Ulta account and saw that I had stuff in my favorites cart and this was in it, so he ordered it. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but I actually really enjoy it. It is that sort of tone adjusting tinted moisturizer. It is very sheer. It's not pigmented at all, or it's not full coverage at all. It is like light coverage, but I like this because it smooths out the skin, and this is a really good tinted moisturizer option if you have oily skin. I have combination skin, and part of that is because I'm using Differin at the moment. So Differin's like a retinoid and it dries out your skin. So I still get oily in my T-zone, but for the most part my outer perimeter is super dry. So this, I do find sometimes, depending on the day, this can actually be too drying for me. It works really well if you're oily. I find that it holds up really well in the heat. It's not like mask proof or transfer proof or anything like that, but it is just a really nice tinted moisturizer. So I had to mention it. This is why I don't think this has a good shade range. I don't even think this has a shade on it. This might just be one shade, which is really disappointing. The one I'm going to talk about next at least has more than one shade, but it's not layerable either. I think I've used this in like an Instagram story or something, which are always saved in my highlights, but yeah, I'm not really into the whole clean thing anymore, but I still really do like this, the Dream Tint. Now my second one that I like better, especially for my more dry skin, is the Herborian CC cream. I heard Emily Fox talk about this years and years ago, and then I got a sample of it that just sat in my drawer for months and months. So I finally tried it on a whim probably a month or two ago, and I was shocked at how beautiful this is. Again, it's one of those tone adjusting primers. It's a Korean beauty brand, so the shade range is not very good, but this does at least have 3 shades. But this just, it blows my mind because it's not that it's super good coverage, but it just makes your skin look like not too glowy, but not matte either, just like perfected. It does have like this pearlescence to it, but it's not super luminous. It's not super greasy. Like, it's nothing like the Glossier Skin Tint, which I know like people compare a lot of stuff to that. It's just so pretty. It calls itself a high definition radiance face cream, and I think that's like the perfect way to put it because it does feel like when you put it on, it feels like a face cream. Both of these I just put on with my hands. I don't use a brush or anything like that. And I actually did order the full size of this because it was on sale during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. This is just the little half ounce, but I literally like it so much that I was like, I have to have the full size. So yeah, this is really good if you can find a shade that matches your skin tone. I highly recommend it. And I will mention, like, I have acne and stuff. I don't have perfect skin, and I still really like these because I do find that they have just enough coverage to give, like, I don't want to say a film, but like a filter over the skin. I have a couple of cream cheek products, and I'm technically going out of order because I technically put on eyeshadow before I put on all of this stuff, but nonetheless, for a bronzer, I discovered this Wet n Wild Photo Focus Stick Foundation. I'd heard people talk about this as foundation, but I wanted a cream bronzer. I was in the store and I thought, you know, people used to use foundations as cream bronzers, like before cream bronzers were like a thing. So I went ahead and purchased this. It's in the shade Almond, and I will tell you the reason why I like this so much. First of all, this is another product where the shade range is not that good, but the reason why I like this so much is because I have lots of bronzers with different undertones. I enjoy certain undertones, but I have two bronzers that are a little deeper and they're warmer, and then my two lighter ones are that more like yellowy undertone, like lighter bronzers, but I really can't use them during the summer because they don't show up on my skin at all. This is the same shade as like the Marc Jacobs Tantastic, but with a yellow undertone, and I really like the way it looks on the skin. I also enjoy wearing it with something like a tinted moisturizer because since it's a foundation, it has coverage. So if I have breakouts in this area, which I often do, and I have acne scarring in that area, I put it on and it adds coverage along with also like, look, you know, with the tinted moisturizer. The way that I like to do it is I take a brush, I use like the e.l.f. foundation brush, and I just rub it on here and then stipple it onto the skin. It melts into the skin. It looks so stunning, and I think that if you're my skin tone or lighter, or maybe a little darker, the almond shade would be perfect for you. I don't know how extensive the shade range is online. I would really be interested to know. This also, I bought the stick foundation of this, and I love the stick foundation, but the way that it thrives, in my opinion, is as a concealer. So if you want to do that whole like Scott Barnes technique where you add like different shades to create like your face or whatever, these are perfect for that. So I really like them, but especially that as a cream bronzer is just excellent. So for a cream blush, I actually have heard people talk about this, and I've heard them talk negatively about this. So I wanted to set the record straight. This is the Milani Cheek Kiss in the shade Nude Kiss. And I know what you're thinking. It looks really dark. It looks really crazy. Now, the first few times I wore this, I actually didn't like it because I was going with a brush, which is what I normally would do in like a potted creamy emollient cream blush like this, because this is really emollient. It has like the texture of almost like Vaseline. And when you do it that way, it is really pigmented on my skin tone. So the way that I like to do it is I warm it up on my fingers and I go like this and I just press it into my cheeks. And doing that, it gives the prettiest blush and it shears it out, so it's just the perfect creamy blush. And it actually mattifies when you do it that way. I find that when I use it with a brush, it stays kind of tacky, but when I press it into the skin that way, I find that it almost sets down and gets matte. And these products together on the cheeks are just so good with the RMS Living Luminizer. Like, that's my favorite combo, like cream cheek combo, especially with like basically my whole face, like the Erborian Skin Tint, this, and the RMS Living Luminizer, and I'm good to go. And some mascara, I'm good. But I've heard people talk about this. I've just heard them talk about it negatively, and I do think that you have to use it a certain way. Some people don't like that, and I think that that's fine. I'm not saying that anyone's using it incorrectly. I'm just saying that that's the best way that I found to use it, because I bought it, I wanted to make it work, and that was the way that I found that it not only made it work, but it looked stunning. I also really like to use this, put it on the cheeks, and then put it on the lips, because I don't know, it doesn't say that you can use it that way, but every cream cheek product I also like to use on the lips. So love that one, but I've heard a lot of smack talk about it, so I had to set the record straight. So for eyes, it was pretty difficult because every single eyeshadow that I own, I've heard someone talk about, but I've only heard one person talk about this eyeshadow in particular, and it's the Do Not Disturb from BH Cosmetics. I feel like this collection was slept on mostly because a lot of those palettes had curse words in them, so people were scared of getting demonetized. But I saw Angelica talk about this. I'll link her video down below, and she reviewed the entire line. And out of all of those eyeshadow palettes, I saw them in store, and this one spoke to me on a level that I can't explain. These tones, I like color, and if you go back on some of my videos, you may not believe this, but I actually do like color. I frequently wear color. If you look on my Instagram, I'm constantly wearing color, but I wear color in a certain way, and this palette just exudes the way that I wear color. These two shades by themselves on the lid are so pretty. This shade as a liner is so pretty. These shimmers are beautiful. Just everything about this palette I think is so nice. And I think I think these palettes are good for people, like, let's say you don't really like color but you want to dabble in color, because these are not expensive. They're like $15, but the quality is the same as, like, or better than palettes that are way more expensive. So I think these are getting slept on. This one is the Do Not Disturb, and they only sell a couple at Ulta, so if you wanted to go in and swatch them, I think they sell this one and like the red one. But I really, really like this one if you want to dabble in those like blue and purples, which are really trendy right now, but so good. Okay, I have two more products and they're kind of boring, and then I have my bonus product. The first one is a mascara, and I haven't heard anyone talk about this mascara. And this mascara is so good. Full disclosure, I do use Grande Lash, so like my lashes are a little bit longer, but this is the e.l.f. Big Mood Mascara. This, first of all, makes my eyelashes look insane. It has my favorite type of brush, which is that like hourglass shape fluffy brush, but it lengthens and volumizes. It doesn't smudge and get everywhere despite the fact that this is a huge brush, and I don't find that it flakes, but it's also easy to get off. I love this mascara, and it's like $8 or something like that. I just don't understand. I'm actually trying currently like a Dior mascara, and I choose this over that so many times. I was torn between talking about this and talking about my Burgundy L'Oreal Voluminous mascara, but I ended up talking about this. But that's another really good one that's underrated, but specifically the Burgundy one if you have blue eyes. And honestly, if you just do like a burgundy, like this plum eyeliner and that burgundy mascara, it looks so good. But anyway, I don't hear people talk about that mascara, and they should, because it's new too, and normally new things, you know, everyone's talking about. So this is one where I'm like, I need to put my money where my mouth is and shut up, because I've shit talked the e.l.f. Clear Brown Lash Mascara forever. And then I heard Kelly Gooch say that this was like her favorite brow mascara, and I was like, I've tried that and I know it's not good. I actually got this out of my empties bin. I don't do empties anymore, but I got this out of my empties bin, not this specific one, and used up an entire one that I was going to throw in the trash. This is such a good brow mascara, and it's $1. And it literally, I'm not wearing it right now, but it makes your eyebrows stay standing up, which, like, what more could you ask for? I used to use the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Like, I was a ride or die for that clear brow gel, and I will never purchase that as long as this exists. This is so good, so I eat my words. Anytime I've talked shit about this, I was wrong. I was wrong. I'm here to say that I was wrong. Okay, the last product before the bonus product, I've never heard anyone talk about these, and they're so good. It's the Ulta Beauty brand Juice Infused Lip Oils. These lip oils, I'll tell you why I like them. They're super, super glossy, which I love, but they last forever on the lips. I wear these to work, and I wear a mask to work, and oftentimes I will find that I'll be wearing this from like 7 a.m. to like 1 p.m. and I will still have lip gloss on my lips. I will still have a sheen on my lips. At night, when I go to take off my makeup, this, I have to use an oil cleanser a halo, a face halo, and a face wash to get this stuff off my lips. It's intense. It is the only gloss I've ever found that is like a long wearing lip gloss. It just stays on your lips. It stays shiny. It is sticky. That's like the trade-off. I feel like anytime you have a mascara that's super sticky and lasts, you know, or a lip gloss that lasts a long time, it is going to be sticky. But it's worth it for how long it lasts. If you're someone that likes a glossy lip but you don't really want to think about it, this is perfect. And it also does not move. Like, I have found a lot of lip glosses will migrate to my upper lip, especially since I got lip filler, and this doesn't migrate at all. It doesn't move even with a mask on. This is like, I don't know why people aren't talking about these. They're so good. They're slightly tinted but not overly tinted. So lastly, my bonus product, and I'm only mentioning this, it's currently sold out, but like generally these types of products like come back. It has something on it that's like really gross looking. This came out during the pandemic, and it came out right when the pandemic started, so I think this release just kind of like was a blip on the radar and then it was gone and no one talked about it. But I have gotten rid of all of my Anastasia glow kits. But this one, the Nicole Guerrero glow kit, like I said, it came out right when the pandemic started. This is, actually, has this released before? I think this was a re-release. But I used the heck out of this. This for a good while when I wore makeup, this was the highlighter that I used. I didn't use anything else. I'm pretty sure, like, if you look, I'm about to hit pan on that shade, and I think I'm close to hitting pan on that shade. These are just so pretty. And I always talk about highlights that don't have a lot of back pigment. This is what I'm talking about. These shades can be worn, in my opinion, by a lot of different people because I don't find that they're super back pigmented. They just give a sheen on the skin. So I really like these. Like I said, I've gotten rid of all of them. Like, after I bought this, I got rid of all of my glow kits and I just kept this one. And the only reason I'm mentioning it is because the holidays are coming up and I feel like that's the time when things get re-released, and I have a feeling that they will re-release this at some point because I just feel like it didn't get the hype it deserved, because it literally, I want to say it came out in like March or April, and that was when lockdown started, and I just feel like people weren't buying as much. I was, obviously, but I think that this will come back and I think people will talk about it. But that's it. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want me to do this again, like I said, I have other products that I can talk about. But I'll see you in my next video. Bye.